All right, thanks so much for being here. Big pieces of legislation that could really have a lot of economic impact. One of them has to do with Scottsdale and the company Axon. Axon is a home-based, homegrown business. Started out as Taser. It is now worth about $40 billion. Their world headquarters supposed to go in a multi-use jurisdiction in Scottsdale, been held up in the legislature now, is trying to come up with legislation to save it from having to go on the ballot in 2026. The other has to do with the Arizona Diamondbacks and capturing sales taxes inside the stadium so that they can do the upgrades that are needed because they don't own the building. I know that's a very brief overview, but that's kind of where what those bills will do. Joining us to talk about what will be accomplished and where they are in the legislative process from the Chamber of Commerce, of course, is Danny Seiden. Welcome back, Danny.
Thanks, Mike. Good morning. Thanks for having me on. I think you gave a great outlay for the two bills that both moved forward out of committee this week at the legislature. So, yeah, happy to catch everyone up.
So let's talk about Axon, because I know this is a little bit different than original version of the bill that kind of died. What's different about this piece of legislation? What will it accomplish? And do you think it's got more support?
Yeah, well, it passed out of committee unanimously yesterday at 8-0, and that was despite a lot of testimony from the Scottsdale City Council, who came in to, make sure their voices are being heard, and that's understandable. But yeah, what it does in its rewritten form is it changes our zoning regulations. So if you have a company that's going to move or create a global headquarters here in Arizona, and with that goes in various requirements of size, capital investment, amount of jobs, et cetera, raw land. If they do that, then as part of that zoning, that industrial zoning for it, they get an allotment of apartments and housing to create kind of a campus, which is what workers want, what workers need, what we need in Arizona. Despite what Scottsdale City Council said, and again, I think they have noble intentions, they're not accurately reflecting the needs of their city because there is not enough apartments in Scottsdale. They might not want any at all. I get that. I don't know a single homeowner out there who will say, yeah, give me thousands of apartments in my backyard. But workers need it. Younger workers want them. They can't afford a house. They can't afford the loan for a house right now. And this is part of the campus that Rick Smith and Axon is trying to build. And it would be good for Arizona to have more of these. The mayor of Peoria, Jason Beck, great leader, went and testified in support of it, saying this is what Peoria needs. We need campuses like this.
Isn't it similar? I wouldn't say it's exactly apples and apples, but it's similar to what's happening at the old Paradise Valley Mall location, what the plans are for the old Metro Center Mall location, and what we're trying to accomplish in downtown Phoenix, where they are building things with less parking spaces, but it's more of a walking city where people are living and working in the same area, and they're building retail around it so that people are not driving as much. They're able to have everything they need much closer.
No, that's right. As we mature and as we advance as a state and a city, I mean, we're going to have to become a little bit more dense. And I think this is smart growth. It's intelligent growth. It's not just making things urban for the sake of making it urban. You're right. You mentioned the Valley, Metro Center. You mentioned what's happening at Paradise Valley Mall. I mean, the vision that Axon in North Scottsdale could have for this would be a campus that houses, up to 1,900 employees, but not just employees. There's a hospital being built across the street. They envision nurses being able to go there. I mean, this is the kind of housing that we want police, fire, teachers to all go and be part of this community. And there's been some ignorant rhetorics spewed about how apartments cause crime. That's not true. It depends on the type. We're talking about a community, infused development with restaurants, retail that will benefit the tax coffers for Scottsdale, as well as the residents having the ability to feel like they can live and work in the same city. We can't have our workers commuting from an hour in to get to their job. That's not good. That's not good for traffic, environment, et cetera, et cetera.
And yeah, you mentioned the hospital, the investment that is being made, $2 billion by Mayo Clinic with that reimagining healthcare is going to be 2 miles away, that you're going to have start employing these high-end, high-tech positions where they're reimagining healthcare. They're going to have places to live, and not all of them are going to be able to afford or are going to buy homes. So that part of it, I hope that this works out and it gets through and the governor signs it. Let's quickly talk about the D-backs and what's happening with this. I know that what happened in the House version is a little different with the amendments in the Senate. What's happening there?
So what's happening is it got amended and this is part of the sausage-making process. I still would say it's going to be amended more going forward, but in the Senate committee, it was amended to kind of require the county to pay a share as well, which kind of changes some things within it. But again, it advanced out. It has to go through Senate appropriations as well, and I imagine there'll be more of a discussion there. But it's still basically a tax recapture that funds the stadium going forward. They're looking at whether or not the county could contribute more. I'm a bigger fan, actually, of the city of Phoenix using this fund that they have, this district fund, to pay more. Now, I know the mayor went and testified that this will, destroy their budget and so on and so forth. I don't think the numbers necessarily bear that out. We've talked about that before. So again, I know everyone wants to keep the Diamondbacks here, and we're working on the solution to do that. And everyone should keep in mind, we're still talking about a public facility with this field, with Chase Field, and trying to get a way to renovate it and pay for things to upkeep it. I mean, it's opening day today. We should be excited about baseball. We should be secure in the future that they have here. And I imagine there'll still be some more changes, but I'm excited that we're seeing things pass out of committee. The narrative should be that our legislature and our businesses are all working together to get things done. And in the case of the Diamondbacks, not going to let mayors and their budgets derail it. In the case of Axon and other global headquarters, not going to let cities who basically are acting on behalf of a homeowners association stop economic development.
When you think about this D-backs issue, what's odd to me is there was really no problem in the negotiation with the city of Phoenix and the Phoenix Suns and what used to be Footprint Center, but now the PHX Arena. It seems like that was a no-brainer. They were going to invest the $230 million in taxpayer dollars, and it was going to be, kind of a marriage that went on till at least 2037. We know that we've seen a similar thing work in Glendale with the Cardinals. Why the pushback with the Diamondbacks, do you think this is? Because, no one's talking about the economic impact if that building sits empty,
Yeah, and no, you're correct. You're correct, Mike. And that was asked of the mayor. You're going to tell us what you're going to lose if we pass this legislation, but what will you lose if the Diamondbacks leave, if we can't find a solution for the stadium? And there wasn't a really good answer. Now, we know that. We know the $6 billion in economic development that they provide. We know that the World Series run a couple of years ago was worth $130 million alone. We know what the downtown restaurants, we know what the charities say. We know all the little kids who play Little League and what it means to them. We heard from all of them. We even heard from all of our friends in the trade unions on the jobs this provides and why they were supportive of it. So I'm hopeful that they can get over, again, when budgets are tight, sometimes positions change, they can get over the short-term thinking and realize long-term, it's much better that we keep the Diamondbacks here and get the right solution to it. And again, you have one of the best people in all of baseball in Derek Hall out there fighting for this every single day while also putting together a great team that's picked them, be in the top 5. So, I mean, it's an exciting year for us, and we're going to get something done. I'm very optimistic for the Diamondbacks right now.
Do you think possibly, I'm asking you to, get into somebody else's mind, but do you think the people that are opposed to what this is or saying that they are opposed, they're not necessarily opposed, but what they're trying to do is position themselves to negotiate for a better deal or one that they think is better for that side? That this is not just a walkover, but they're just trying to negotiate better terms?
Yes, again, that's you're speaking with the best intentions of our political leaders, and so I always hope it's about negotiations. It's about getting a better deal, a compromise, if there could be one that's out there. And so let's say we all hope that. Now, we've heard some other testimony that they don't like the ownership or their political leanings, and that has no place in this discussion. That has no place in what's best for the state and what's best for the community. So again, I hope we can keep political ideology separate for a second and get the best deal for our state, for our Little League players, our charities, our small businesses in downtown.
Yeah, amen. I echo your sentiment. Danny, it's always good to talk with you. I know you have the inside scoop on all of this. I appreciate the update and look forward to doing it again.
You got it. Thanks, Mike. Anytime.
All right. That's Danny Seiden. He is the CEO and the president of the Arizona Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Thanks for watching the Mike Broomhead Show. Catch up on Amazing Arizonans, a KTAR News podcast, and click the button in the middle to subscribe.